Okay, so I got a chance to check out the first episode of the new Disney Plus series Secret Invasion, and now this was a show I was really looking forward to because this has been hinted at numerous times in the MCU, Captain Marvel being the biggest face of that. But even before Captain Marvel, I mean, the Skrulls and the Secret Invasion storyline has been addressed. It has been referenced going back as far as Iron Man. So, so we knew that this was something that was coming and that the MCU was building to. And so, I was really excited to finally see the payoff to this storyline. I haven't read the comic, so I kind of went into this show with new eyes. But before I get to my thoughts on the first episode of Secret Invasion, as far as Marvel's run on Disney Plus, as far as their TV series go, like there's some okay ones and then there's some bad ones there as well. Moon Knight, I thought had some good stuff in it, but Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I just had no interest in really checking them out. I don't think TV series is where Marvel's strong point is. So as much as I was excited going into Secret Invasion, there was also a part of me that was reserved for disappointment. And so now moving forward with that, Secret Invasion, I'm happy to report, it takes a few steps back. So this series takes place after the blimp that occurred during Infinity War, and that got the whole world talking. People are disappearing left and right. What is happening? And Nick Fury was one of those people that disappeared during the blimp, and now we get to see what happened to him. We get to see, I guess the new reborn Nick Fury. We get to see the Nick Fury after the blimp, and that I find a very interesting story approach for it. And so I was excited to see where this was going to go. And so now getting into my thoughts on the first episode, um, I really liked the almost detective undercover approach to this. Like, this isn't your normal Marvel production. There's not like big scales or big spectacle of action sequences. This really knows it back to a very basic level of action. And then there's a lot of fist to fist combat in this first episode, and it's choreographed really well. And just I really liked the whole, you know, the fingers are pointing at everybody here. Like, anyone you could talk to could be a Skrull, and it makes the Skrulls in this first episode, real intimidating, because you could be talking to your father as far as and he could be a Skrull. I think that's what makes the Skrulls scary. Is it could be someone close to you, and since the Skrulls do want to get close to Shield, and they do want to get close to Nick Fury, and their whole mission and goal, at least from what's established, is to try and get to Nick Fury. And so of course there would be uh, there would there would be a political statement definitely going forward, especially with how this episode ends, which I will be getting into spoilers as well. So spoiler warning. You've had your you've had your spoiler warning. Yep, time to talk about it. So basically, the ending, from my understanding at least, correct me here if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, Nick Fury shoots his own mum in public as well, might I add. So there's like 1,000 eyes watching Nick Fury at the moment. But the twist here is that was not Nick Fury. That was a Skrull. And so I feel like kind of going forward, there'll be this statement of like, Shield is bad and Nick Fury are bad, and we can't trust superheroes and all of that. Because at this time, keep in mind that the Avengers are nowhere to be seen. And just I really liked the ending to this. first episode because it leaves on a cliffhanger that's very intriguing to see the direction of this series progress. And like I love that very kind of you know detective noir like tone that this first episode takes. Um, and I thought it was directed really well. I think it's shot beautifully. I think there is a lot of production value here. And I think the other thing that's scary about the Skrulls as well is they don't care about human life. Like they're trying to take over the planet, so they will fuck up as many people as possible, as we saw in the climax of this episode, where we saw at least a good 100 people die. Like we saw people explode and all of that. So we know from this ending that the Skrulls aren't fucking around, and the threat is high. The threat's real in this, in this series, and just I really just I love this approach of like you can't trust anyone. I think it really keeps these characters on their toes. I think it really keeps the audience on their toes on on who to believe, who not to believe, and because since everyone sounds like themselves, I think it just I think it really adds to this feeling of of isolation, like you're in it for yourself, no one else. And I don't know, that was something just I really appreciated about this first episode. But yeah, as far as how I feel about where the series is going, I cannot wait to watch the second episode. I'm gonna be doing weekly reviews on Secret Invasion, giving you my quick thoughts. But as from the first episode, I really enjoyed it. It's a strong start, strong introduction. Really looking forward to seeing what happens with Nick Fury and the rest of our characters in Secret Invasion. It's on Disney Plus streaming right now. Check it out.